Are you ready to transform your normal e-commerce business into one that experiences exponential growth year after year using online advertising? If so, this show is for you. Me and my guests will show you how you too can grow your e-commerce business to 7 or even 8 figures so you can go on more luxurious vacations, spoil yourself and your family, say yes to more opportunities, and become financially free so you never have to worry about money again. Welcome to the E-commerce Performance Marketing Show. Hey, how's it going, guys? Josh Marsden here of the E-commerce Performance Marketing Show. And I have a very special guest for you. I have Earnest Epps. Earnest is a world-renowned speaker. He speaks around the world on how to basically grow high-ticket dropshipping e-commerce businesses. And he is truly an expert in what he does, which is why he speaks around the world. And he is on the show today to basically just talk about what's working now when it comes to scaling e-commerce companies, using some of his strategies and his tactics that he teaches his community as well. Earnest, welcome to the show.
Hey, welcome. Glad to have been invited to kind of hang out here with you, man, because I know you're a rock star. So
thanks, man. No, thanks, man. I mean, the feeling's mutual, dude. It's always a good time connecting with you, talking to you, and you always provide a ton of value. So, for those that maybe don't know you, can you just introduce yourself to the uninitiated that, don't know Earnest Epps and don't know what you do?
Yeah, no, man, it's I don't even know where to start at, really, man. It's been a journey, like most people. I kind of got bit by the entrepreneur bug as I was working in corporate America. And the thing is, the funny thing is, I always tell people I didn't necessarily take the e-commerce business serious, and the reason why I think I didn't really take it serious because it's like so easy not to do stuff, and the pressure of having to perform, right? Performance, it's a performance show, right? The pressure to perform wasn't as high because the barrier of entry is so low, right? Mm-hmm. And so people look at that $29 Shopify cost, to start an e-commerce store. And a lot of times it equates to like the work ethic that kind of goes into it. At least it did for me. I don't want to put that on anybody, right? But when you got thousands of dollars worth of overhead in a traditional retail store, your butt's got to get that place staffed. You got to get product in the store. You got to start marketing. Pressure. You got to get your butt in gear, right? And so for me, for a few years, in terms of just entrepreneurship overall, I treated everything I did from like MLM to affiliate marketing to e-commerce, like the investment that it cost to kind of get stuff, started. Right. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really see any type of success for years while I was, chasing my corporate dream. And what ultimately kind of put the pressure on me to want to take entrepreneurship serious was the fact that, I ended up getting laid off from what I referred to as like my dream job. It was like the job that was perfect, right? Companies flying me all over the US. I got a nice salary. They're paying for my car, my cell phone. It's dope, right? Yep. The best job, right? I got a company card. I'm having meetings, paying for these dinners for everybody. It's awesome. And I got laid off from there, ultimately fired, right? So it when that happened, it broke my spirit. It literally crushed my soul. I cried like a baby for 3 days. Terrible cry, snot, sweat, the whole 9 yards, man. It's embarrassing. I don't even kind of talking about it, but I just want people to understand, right? If anybody's kind of going through that or maybe a tough time at this point, you don't see any way out. That's where I was. And I actually fell into a state of depression following that, just because I just felt so bad about kind of what happened. I just felt like I wasn't good enough. It was just a lot of mental games I just kind of played with myself after that. And what really ultimately turned me to the internet is because, me and Josh were kind of talking before this, I got 4 kids and I got to take care of them. And it was hey, man, you have to do something to provide for these guys, right? You can't just go around being a bum, crying and complaining and blaming everyone else for what happened. Yeah, it's a terrible circumstance. And at the end of the day, it wasn't your company, right? When you don't own the thing, you don't control the thing, right? So it wasn't my company. If they don't want me there, they don't want me there. That's the guy, the guy who owns the business ultimately makes the decision at the end of the day. Right. And so that really sunk in. But what really attracted me to e-commerce was, I heard a quote where it said, if you don't learn how to make money while you sleep, you got to work until you die. Right. And I'm going to say that again so you guys get the full scope of what I said, right?
Wow,
If you
it's
don't
a wide
learn
statement.
how to, yeah, if you don't learn how to make money while you sleep, you are going to work until you die. And I was like, I need to figure out how to get some of this sleeping money, right? Uh, so here I am again, entrepreneur bug. I'm evaluating different business models. I'm like, you got real estate, that's obviously a powerhouse model that, has been around since the dawn of, existence of humans, right? And then you got stock market, right? And then I started doing more research and fell across like ecom, right? And so I started looking at the three and, based upon my budget at the time, I very quickly crossed off real estate because I was like, man, there's a lot of money to play that game.
Yeah,
And at least to do it right and to do it big, right?
right.
And have massive leverage. You gotta have money to play in that game. So I was like,
Hmm.
that's probably not gonna work for me. Then I looked at the stock market again, 10% of a little bit is still a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So 10% of a lot of it is a lot more to that bit, right? So
Right.
I was like, man, that can't really play that game to again take care of my family at the capacity that I needed to. And then I
Hmm.
looked at ecom and I was just like, especially drop shipping specifically where you don't have to have like the inventory, you don't got to purchase the products until you actually get orders. The fact that you can literally have thousands of products on your website and sell all that stuff at any point in time throughout the course of the day, was just like, man, that's pretty cool. So I don't have to pay for any of this stuff. So I don't have to have the traditional overhead. And then in terms of like barrier of entry, like, there's a platform called Shopify. It costs $29 to have a fully blown out, robust, secure portal with like payment gateways, like a bunch of other fancy tech stuff we won't talk about for those new people listening. But it has everything all under one roof for $29. I was like, all right, sign me up for this $29 ecom thing, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Um, and that's the direction I decided to go into because of the amount of leverage that you're able to have. Like, my average ROAS, which stands for return on ad spend, in the econ world is between like 20 to 30x. So every time I spend
Nice.
$1, I make $20, right?
Yeah.
And I've
That's
been
awesome.
rocking that for like the last like 5 years, right? So that's a huge, like, again, like you look at
It's a
comparison to like
massive stat. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, like the stock market, that's what, like a 200,000 or 2,000%, gain, right? Like that's like if someone were to go into like, Wall Street and say that they're seeing like a 2,000% return on investment, like they'd like kick you out of there and be like, that's a scam. Right?
Right.
But in ecom, like Josh, I know you got some monster wins too as well, especially like when you learn how to like master like email marketing or something of that nature. Like,
Hmm.
you pay your
Yep.
autoresponder a couple $100 a month and you can send out a campaign and literally like make thousands
Tons
upon
of money.
thousands of dollars,
Tons of
right?
ROI. Yep.
Exactly. So like we see in the online space, especially with e-commerce, like you can see massive gains. And when I started doing my due diligence, I was just like, yeah, this is the thing for me. Like, once I start to develop some of these different skill sets, like the return on investment for my time and energy and effort can be massive. But more importantly, outside of just learning the skill set, is the ability to be able to have the machine run itself, whether I'm doing anything or whether I'm not. Right.
Yeah.
And that's where like the real like power comes into place and why I really decided to take this industry and business model seriously.
No, that's great, man. That's great. Your story resonates with me because when did you start? What year?
This is 2015.
Okay. So I started
Yeah.
early 2013 and late 2012, I got fired from a software company called Infusionsoft. And I went over to Infusionsoft early 2012 as kind of a career gamble because I had a very stable, near 100,000 per year position as a manager too at a Fortune 500 company here in Phoenix. So I was doing fairly well, and but there was definitely some signs that I wasn't going to be able to keep getting increases and keep challenging myself and keep growing. And so I was really looking for like another opportunity. And I think personally too, I was in a relationship with someone that worked in the same building, and the relationship was kind of like teetering at the time. And so I think part of me also wanted to kind of, create some space there since I
Yeah.
knew that things were like basically on the downward spiral, so to speak. So, I went to Infusionsoft and, I did pretty well there overall, but I still got let go. And that stung, it just, at the time for me, and I think we can both kind of resonate with this because it sounds like we both kind of had some emotions at that point in our lives.
Yeah.
For me, it was like several dominoes were falling, like in a negative way, like right
Yeah.
around that point in my life. And, I came out of two back-to-back relationships with people I loved. I also, had a, career move that didn't pay off. I just short sold my condo as well. So my home, I was changing, I was like really transitioning. There was lots of just change. And then on top of that, to your point too, I was a father and, I was trying to, prioritize my son, be the best father I could be. So yeah, there was just all those things happening at the same time. And that
Yeah.
all led to having all that emotion. I honestly probably cried quite a bit at the time as well. So we can both just admit that we're man enough to cry if we need to sometimes, right?
Yeah,
And
man. Sometimes you gotta let it out, man.
sometimes you gotta let it out. And so but that was, powerful emotion that we obviously use to fuel, getting started as businessmen and starting up our own business. And then of course driving past the challenges that we faced, whether it was early on or whether it was down the road, to get to where we're at today.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, let me just put this out there to the audience because the audience needs to know this. So if you're watching this or even listening to this and you are like sick and tired where you're at, you want something better for yourself. You want, like Ernest said, you want to create an opportunity for yourself that generates income for you while you're sleeping because you don't want to have to work until you are dead basically, then and you don't have an e-commerce business yet, you're not making sales yet, then you definitely need to turn to Ernest because Ernest teaches people how to build very successful drop shipping e-commerce businesses, and he's an expert at it. He's been doing it for a very long time, and you can check out all the stuff. You can find out more. You don't have to take our word for it. Just go to his website, check it out. What is your website, Ernest, just so people know?
Yeah, I like to keep things simple. Just my first and last name, Earnest Epps. So
Love it. Love it. That's awesome. Okay, cool. So earnesteps.com, right?
yep, just earnestepps.com, and it's EARNEST. So just like the adjective.
Awesome. Awesome. Good deal, man. Good deal. So the reason why you're on this show is because, I bring on guests once a week. And, I basically, want to kind of highlight some of the strategies, some of the tactics that you've used in your e-commerce businesses or you've been teaching to others in your community that work. So, what are some strategies? What are some tactics that you've seen in your experience that work really well when it comes to uh, scaling e-commerce businesses that, are already, already out there, already making some sales, but they're not necessarily scaling yet. They're just like steady right now and they're trying and they work really hard for those sales, but they really want to keep increasing and keep increasing. They want to eventually get to that point where they see that exponential growth curve where they can see like faster growth.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I want to say, pretty much one of the first things too, I think when people, whether they're just getting started or whether they're like starting to see some traction like in their businesses and stuff, is you get distracted, right? And you start wanting to chase like a ton of different things all at the same time. So first and foremost, like I'm a big proponent of, let's do more of what's working first before we try to do anything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're that person that's already doing really, really well, like running Facebook ads or you're running Google ads, or maybe, you're really good at lead gen, and then, maybe maximizing that list to do promotions and sales, to do, your sales volume currently on your store, whatever that strategy happens to be, I would say like put the hammer down and go in on that and soak that sucker till it's dry. Like quite honestly, to really walk away from like, your full-time gig, or I would say rather to like build a business more so to like 300 to maybe like $500,000 a year, you really only need one good traffic source. Like, so if you're listening to this, like, and you think that you need all this other like crazy stuff, and like you got to be running ads on Google, Bing, Facebook, Pinterest, Snapchat ads has a program now, TikTok has got an advertising platform. Don't be that person, right? Like it literally takes one traffic source, and typically in most cases is like one of like what I like to look at is like the big three for
Yep.
e-com, which is mainly Facebook, Google, and Instagram right now.
Yep.
Especially with influencers, your go-to is going to be Instagram. And Pinterest,
Yep.
in my opinion, for e-com is like the next, like would be like the fourth one in line that you can start to kind of leverage and maximize. But definitely like the big three are like Facebook, Instagram, and Google, right? So it's like pick one of those three and go in on that platform. Because again, in that platform, there's going to be multiple different types of campaigns that you can run. Like on Google, you got
Yep.
the display network, you got the shopping network, you got text ad campaigns, you got remarketing campaigns that you can set up, dynamic remarketing, like a whole lot of different stuff. So
Yep.
maximize that one platform with the different types of campaigns and things that you can do on that before you decide to kind of look somewhere else, right?
Yep.
So
Keep
that's
it simple.
first and foremost. Yeah, literally, like it's just like I'm spending $1,000 a day, on ads right now. Well, why aren't you spending? And you're profitable. You have success doing that. Why aren't you spending 3,000 a day yet?
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
just
No,
like,
absolutely.
I mean, like
Yeah.
sometimes, like when people like pay me to kind of come in and like look at their business, I mean, like it'd be like the simplest things that I tell people to do, and it's just like massive gains. It's just like, man, I paid that guy all that money just to tell me this. It's just like, well, at the same time, like it might have been outside the scope of like your thought process, because you're in the game, right? It's just like, and myself included, like even when I'm working on the things that I'm doing, like sometimes it takes having somebody from the outside kind of say, hey, bro, like, did you think about this or have you thought about that? And it's just like, oh, I kind of knew that potentially intuitively, but the thought just wasn't sitting there, right? And maybe the
Yep.
person listening to this right now, again, this is something super simple, but maybe you needed to hear that. I know sometimes I need to hear, like, go do more of what's already working, right? Stop
Yeah.
trying to chase
Absolutely.
the next strategy. Because along
Right.
with that, when you start coming to the ecosystem of like kind of following me, like I'm a big like person behind like principles and following strategies that work like them almost practically no matter what niche you're in.
Yep.
Right,
Yep.
like I'm a
Yep.
big principle driven individuals, like so a lot of
Mindset's
stuff like
everything. Mindset's
yeah,
key.
yeah, definitely. Like mindset and following like principles of marketing that we know work, like urgency and scarcity, like that works no matter what niche you're in. Like whether you're an attorney or whether you're selling shampoo or you're selling dog beds, right? Like
Totally, man. Yep.
creating a campaign around that is just always going to be key. So actually, while
Yep.
we're kind of talking about that, one of the things I'll say that again, this is more so for maybe like new people or even somebody that maybe might be doing like $30,000-$40,000 a month right now is that one of the things I think is like an underlying thing that you might potentially could be leaving on the table is just leveraging events. And this is mainly more so, I guess you could say possibly for like a US driven market. But we got all these holidays, right? You got Labor Day, you got Thanksgiving, we got, I think Columbus Day, Grandfather's Day, Sunny Dog Day. Like we got we got a lot of different
So
like
many holidays.
calendar type of events. And one of the things I think like is an underlying thing that people can do to kind of take advantage of these things are like building campaigns specifically around that, right? And or
Yep.
potentially creating a day for your brand, right? And the greatest example behind that is like, Amazon Prime Day, right? Like
Yep.
that's made up. That's a made up thing. It's a made up thing that Amazon decided to create. Say we got Prime Day. And the market's like, what's Prime Day? Right? It's like the
Right.
day that everything goes on sale. Like, well, isn't everything already on sale? Right? No,
It's clever.
what we gotta. I think some of the things that we gotta do is remember like the behaviors that drive consumers to like want to buy stuff, right? So again, Prime Day, quite honestly, is just literally a strategy to just drive like extra added urgency that the brand just created itself and just incentivizes people to want to buy that day, right? And
Hmm.
obviously that main core incentive happens to be like the pricing that they get. So the easiest way to do that if you don't want to create a branded day for your business is that you can just take the current holidays and themes of kind of what's already going on and just
Yep.
start creating marketing campaigns specifically for that. So go out,
Yep.
get some new banners that you put on like, for slideshows on your site. Look at like, using different applications, maybe something like a hello bar that creates like a drop down menu at the top of your site where you can like broadcast a promotion and start letting your audience know that way, along with, letting your email list know like, hey, we have a specific campaign, or you wouldn't use campaign because that's like marketing. You'd say we have a promotion. There we go. I got to like switch my language. You got to change up the language depending on who you're talking to. So don't tell your audience you got a campaign coming.
No.
I'm like, hey, you running for president?
I know, that's what they would think. Where do I vote?
Yeah, exactly. So letting them know like, hey, you got a specific promotion, right? And the great thing about like when you do like these short-term promotions and stuff, they're really great, like, revenue boosters. But more importantly, the great thing about that is that you can like, even if you're not the type of person like in your marketing that traditionally uses a lot of urgency and scarcity, this gives you the ability to leverage what's currently already happening to build that up. Like, because especially, and again, this is a little bit more towards new people, and I want to say like those people that's starting to see like that 40 or 50K. Like, it's crazy how I go to different people's sites and stores and I see their businesses, and I'm just like, like, why should I buy today? Like, there's nothing that tells me why I should buy today. Like, so if I left and came back tomorrow, like, is it the same sale going on, or like, what's happening? Right? There's nothing that tells me I need to buy today. So, if you don't have that already strategically placed into your site, and along with that is making it very clearly visible to your audience, right, that you do have this promotion going on, because that's the other part. Like, someone's like, oh, I'm doing free shipping. And then I'm just like, well, how do I know there's free shipping? Like, where's it at? Like, I don't see any banners. I don't see any like promotional material. Like, you're not asking to get my email, like none of that stuff. Right. So make sure that when you create these different messages that you make it clearly visible to your audience, and, you strategically, have end dates and times that you're going to be cutting off your different offers and stuff. And one of the easiest ways is obviously, what you should be already doing, building up an email list, like letting them know on the front end, like when it starts, when it ends, the timestamps, and what is it, the incentive that they're going to receive by taking that desired action during that period. Right.
Yeah.
So,
totally.
I think a lot of e-com stores don't really maximize like, creating events, right? Because these are like pretty much just like holiday events. Like, we see it happen all the time. You see the car dealers do it. We see traditional retail do it. We see Amazon do it. But so many of the smaller businesses, the 40, 50K businesses, aren't leveraging that enough, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the things.
Let's talk about that for a sec, because I think we could break that down a little bit, because I think that has to do with a lot of e-commerce businesses around that are just like getting so caught up in the day-to-day and the minutia in a way. And they're not thinking, more in terms of what can I do that's going to make the business $1,000 to $10,000 per hour for my time in my business. And one of those things is just strategizing. And like you said, basically mapping out like a calendar of promotions over the next 12 months and planning ahead, and like, either project managing the entire thing yourself or delegating it to a project manager that can help you, get it from point A to point B on time for the next 12 months. Right. Mm-hmm. Because the key to being able to make as much sales and revenue as possible in any business, whether it's e-commerce or anything else, is the frequency of your offers. You need to make offers. You can't just put up, your website and just expect people to come and buy from you. You have to really make offers, and, because you're only going to get a small percentage of people that just buy from you automatically. You got to make offers to get a larger percentage of people buying from you. And it's not just necessarily about how much profit you get from these promotions. It's about turning leads into customers and then leveraging lifetime value by getting those people to become customers and then offering them more over the course of the lifetime of them being a customer.
Yep. Yeah. Boosting that CLTV, customer lifetime value.
Absolutely.
And that's actually one of the, customer lifetime value is something, again, for those people that's at the 30, 40, they've been cruising there for like the last, 6, 12 months, or maybe even a couple of years. Don't even look at, like, most people in e-com just look at that first point of acquisition, right? Like, I got a sale today, or I got, thousands of orders for like, this single product. But it's just like, well, how many of those people actually went back and bought from you again? Right. Now, again, looking at from an overall strategic perspective, like, quite honestly, like, if you're not if you don't have a, frequency of 20 to 30% of your customer base purchasing from you at least 2, potentially maybe 3 times, then quite honestly, you really don't got a real business.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
honestly, right? Like,
Hmm.
the only way you eat is when someone buys, like today. And that's it. Like, so what if people don't buy
Right.
tomorrow, right? You don't have any business. So that's one of the best ways to also increase like the valuation of your business, is having like a high repeat customer rate. Like, it's so beautiful. So the
Oh
next
yeah.
question is probably, for most of the people that's at like 40 or 50K, like, you're probably thinking, I Ernest, all this stuff sounds cool, it sounds great, but like, what do I do? Well, again, if you're here now, if you're a newbie, this one ain't gonna really apply to you. You gotta get sales first. But like, one of the things you got to do is go out and start doing due diligence and figure out what are the next things that most people are going to buy on their journey of being a consumer of that product. What's the
Yep.
next thing? So
Yep.
here's the great thing about, especially on the internet, right? There's a lot of tools and a lot of ways that we can go about doing this stuff, even if it's not a tool in particularly for this, because there's a resource that I go to, which you guys are going to all know about anyways, to figure out this information.
I think I
But
know what
it's
you're
like,
gonna say, but go ahead.
yeah, Josh probably already knows what I'm going to say. We never even talked about this before. Is that literally, like, to figure out those other things is you just go to Amazon, right? Like, go
Boom.
to Amazon and see, because Amazon, obviously, like most people, you guys, when most people go to Amazon, they go with like their consumer eyes on. Well, you need to be going to Amazon with your business marketing eyes on, and figuring out what the heck it is that they're doing at all times. Like, somebody listening to this right
Yep.
now, you guys probably haven't even been noticing Amazon's been split testing the mobile version and the desktop version with how they have their dynamic add to cart features, right? One of the things they recently done that I noticed on mobile is that now when you actually hit the add to cart button, if you don't go directly to the cart, they now like push the cart to the top of the menu, where it's taking up about 20 to 25% of the real estate, to like intuitively, subconsciously tell you like, go to the cart. Now, again, they only do that if you don't proceed to cart at that particular time. And then also, everyone probably most likely noticed, like, obviously, like the add the, or was it like, I can't remember the name of the button off the top of my head, but you got like the buy now button if you're on a product. So you got the add to cart, and then you got the buy now button, which is a little bit more common. But one of the things they recently started been doing is having, and they started doing this about 12 to 18 months ago, where they had a dynamic add to cart button, to where if you scroll past the add to cart button, it would actually hover at the top of the screen. Now they recently on mobile got rid of that, unless I'm on like the opposite side of like their split test right now. I'm not seeing a dynamic on my side. What I'm seeing now is a dynamic cart feature, where you hit add to cart, and then the cart goes to the top of the menu if you don't proceed directly to cart. Right
Yep.
now, this wasn't supposed to be like an Amazon talk or nothing like that, but I want to say that you
No,
got
it's
like,
important.
as detailed as I was with that, like, you guys should know all that stuff about all your competitors in the marketplace. And quite honestly, at the end of the day, Amazon is a competitor. And
Right.
as big as they may seem, like, there's no way they can have 100% of the market share, right? And that's why ecom exists, and why it's so awesome is that, we can leverage and do things that they can't do, especially branding around a specific niche and market and audience that you decide to serve, right? For those
Yep.
people that's just like, well, how do I compete with Amazon? It's super simple. Like, you don't have to overcomplicate it. I want to say easy, but I can't if you're brand new, because you don't have skills yet. Like, once you start getting the skills, you start to see how simple it is to actually be able to compete with them and win on a consistent, regular basis. But back to the topic at hand in terms of researching the customer journey, right? So when you go to Amazon and start putting in your products and or your competitors that have these type of features enabled, all you go to is
Hmm.
like the frequently bought with section. Like, what else is this product bought with? Like,
Hmm.
or also bought, right? They got the also bought section. Then they also got the custom bundles that sit right underneath for the products. So like, the question that you got to ask yourself, depending upon the types of products, is like, how many other products are you currently selling to your pre-existing audience, and what's the percentage of those people coming back, and why aren't they coming back, right? Those are the questions that you got to ask yourself, and more than likely it's because you don't understand or know what other things that people would need along their journey of just being a consumer in that market. Now,
Yep.
some other people look at that as just like, oh, you're just trying to sell more stuff to people and get them to buy more stuff. Like, they have this like negative connotation of like sales potentially. So that person that has that mental like block of like, oh, if I'm like only trying to always push sales to my customers, that's a bad thing. Well,
Yeah,
at
that's
the
not a
end of
bad
the
thing.
day, it's completely not a bad thing, because if your
Right.
products are providing an experience that someone's looking for and or
Yep.
solving a
And it's
problem,
helping them. Yep.
it's helping them. So you're honestly,
Absolutely.
you're doing a disservice by not offering that product to that customer, right? An example is like one of the niches I talk a lot about is like electric fireplaces, right? Like,
Yep.
so in the process of owning an electric fireplace, a lot of people actually like to buy mantles, right? So if I offer a mantle to the person that wants to buy the electric fireplace, it's something that you potentially already want, because the data shows that a lot of people like to, have the, exterior, like, of the fireplace, if it sits on the outside and it's not built in around the mantle, so it pops and looks good on the wall, right? So like, I'm doing a disservice to people by not like educating them if they didn't even know that they could, if they wanted to potentially have one, and then also to the person that's possibly shopping for one. I didn't even ask them, right?
Yep.
And so, and then, oh man, like the fact that with you guys that are already getting sales too, that you're not offering like additional products and services to your customer, like the data behind people that buy from like you after you've already acquired them is like huge, man. Like it's I can't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head, and Josh, you might know these numbers, but like the percentage of people that buy from like a business after they've already like purchased from them is significantly higher than going out than acquiring a new customer. It's like 3 to 4, maybe even 5x
Yeah.
greater than you going out and finding that new person.
Right. And this actually ties into the topic that I really talked about during this first week of the show. And that topic is really maximizing your customer lifetime value. Like, most people don't think of that metric as the key to winning when it comes to paid advertising, which is, in my opinion, the best traffic source you could depend on as an e-com company, because it's controllable and you could really maximize it and leverage it, as opposed to, say, organic, that takes a lot of time and can be unpredictable, because Google could basically slap you with a new algorithm, then you lose half your traffic, then there goes half your business.
Yep.
And so I really love how we're talking about how to leverage the customer lifetime, or I'm sorry, customer life cycle. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
The customer life cycle, because, and you're doing that through what you and I just talked about. You're doing that through creating promotions and leveraging those promotions and utilizing those promotions to make more offers to your customers over the course of the lifetime of their customer journey with you and your brand. And that's huge, because that's going to lead you to more ROI from your ads. It's also going to create customers that are more sticky, that keep them coming back for more. It's going to create more 80-20 in your business when it comes to getting 80% of the results for your e-commerce business from 20% of your audience, which is the customers that you're keeping engaged, you're keeping coming back, buying more from you. It's just smart. It's smart business. And Earnest just gave you a incredible tip on how you can easily find new offers to add to your e-commerce business that are hot and relevant. And that's just going to Amazon, using the Amazon shopping network, which is it's basically the number one search engine for e-commerce. Go there, find out what products people are searching for on top of what you sell, which you can easily find. Just follow Ernest's instructions that we just gave you, and you can then identify what additional offers you can make to your customers after they purchase from your cart, or to get them to come back and purchase more if they've already purchased in the past using promotions. So
absolutely, man. Like, it's so funny when I talk to people and they're just like, man, I sell this like unique thing or widget, or maybe they even have a private label brand. It's just like, the other thing, you just got to get out of your own way and stop thinking like whatever it is you're selling is like so
yeah,
unique.
yeah,
Right?
absolutely,
Like,
absolutely, man.
some variation of what that thing does is somebody else is selling it, right? Even if it's like patented, like, the hottest new thing out, like there's going to be a variation of it, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is just, man, there's so much data that's out here for you to like utilize. And again, just talking about like the power of using Amazon. So whether it's like Amazon, Walmart, Bed Bath and Beyond, like I go to all the major retailers and check those guys out and see what they're doing. Like, one of the
Yep.
things I noticed that
It's
like
in your niche,
Overstock
yeah,
is,
for sure.
yeah,
Sorry.
absolutely.
Yep.
And especially like with the bigger, like kind of like like, I guess you could say, like, for example, like a Walmart, they're kind of like an everything store, like an Amazon, right? And then when you go to
Right.
Bed Bath and Beyond, that's more like, specific like bathroom, kitchen, dining room type stuff. So they're not,
Yep.
if you're selling like an outdoor type product, that's not going to be somewhere that you can go. But guess what? We got Dick's Sporting Goods, you got Cabela's, places like
There you
that.
go.
So
Yep.
whoever your top, industry like giants are, you need to have a list of them, and then you need to have a list of your top like niche specific competitors. So, if you're doing e-com, quite honestly, if you're not like being more niche specific, like it's going to be very challenging to really penetrate the market, in my personal opinion. Then there's a lot of people that do it well, like Wayfair, right? It's just like a Wayfair is like, those guys have been in the game, number one, for a long time.
Right.
And number two, like they got massive budgets. They're like,
Yep.
public company. They got other people's money to play with. So it's a lot more challenging to kind of be like those guys. But
totally,
have that list of competitors that are in your market specifically that are actually doing really, really well, like 8-figure, 9-figure brands. And don't look at them as like intimidated. Look at them as like, people that you can use as resources to figure out what's currently already working and what you can model for your business and start to implement some of that stuff. So, totally. I'm more of a big component of like, just generating like conversions. Like, how can I get more sales? Like, I'm not like, I don't personally think I'm the greatest advertiser on the planet, but I get people to buy. That's what I do. I focus on how can I get you to pay me and how can I keep you paying me more and more. Right. And that's my specialty. But along with that, like even, from the advertising perspective, like we talked a little bit about like, keeping the gas on like what's working and what's providing massive success currently that you're doing right now and doing more of that. And then, as you start to scale that out and potentially maybe start to semi-automate, I like using semi-automate because I don't believe you can 100% automate anything. Just my personal opinion. I think there's always got to be some level of work involved.
Human touch.
No matter what the industry is. But what
Absolutely,
you want to do is definitely start building out a team, right? So if you're knocking at that 40, 50K mark right now, like if you haven't started already building a team, that's what you need to be working on. Because at that point, I know for a fact you gave yourself a job, right? In the econ world, I know it's sexy saying like, oh, I got this business, it's making money when I'm not doing stuff. But at 50K a month, you're doing some work. All right.
Yeah.
I know that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yep.
So you don't really get the lifestyle part of it till you start building a team. That is fact. You can't really debate me on that. I know all the top gurus out here like Josh. We know what's up. Okay. You ain't fooling nobody. So start building a team.
True.
Like that's where you really start to get the freedom, right? Is building a team to handle the different operations that's going on inside of your business. So, your supplier relationships from where you're purchasing your products from, making sure that they're happy, making sure you're talking to them on a relevant or consistent basis. And then even talking with them as you start to do more and more volume, right? So now you're starting to creep up, you're doing sales or you have consistent sales. Like I just had a conversation with one of my suppliers where, over the last 2 years, we sold $200,000 of their products. So now they're actually giving us exclusive products that only we have access on the marketplace to sell in the entire U.S. Right? Awesome. I got 2 suppliers that's doing that. Nice. And one of them is actually giving me access to a brand that literally like they haven't even started proactively marketing yet. They've just been doing massive market research in this specific niche. The CEO literally just started ordering the products and she's going to allow me to be first to market. Right. So if you're not, really like in consistent communication with your suppliers, which I already know, like if you're listening to this, I already know, man, you got a lot of stuff that you're doing every single day. But at this point, again, putting that team in place is going to allow you to get freed up to do the other things in your business that now can have impacts on your margin. Okay. Right. So you're probably, if you're listening to this right now, I'm really confident you're probably conservatively leaving anywhere 5 to 15% extra profit on the table right now, simply because you haven't built a strong enough relationship with your supplier for them to want to be open to giving it to you. Mm-hmm. That's just probably what's happening right now. So somebody listening just needs to go back to whoever their account managers are, whether they're in the U.S. or whether they're over in China, and maybe just book a flight over there and have a face-to-face, right? Don't just think that you got to sit behind a computer. And again, I think Josh put this show together for people that want to get to the next level, not like if you're okay with like 40, 50K that you're doing gross, you're netting probably on the low end, like $8,000 to like $12,000 profit. You're good. This isn't for you. This is the person that's like, hey, how do I get to that next level? Right. So we talked about the increase in the
if you're watching the show, you want to take it to the next level. It's called the e-commerce performance marketing show for a reason. So,
Yeah.
that's why you
So
listen to Ernest and I.
yes, indeed. So
Well,
we got,
man.
couple nuggets for increasing the customer lifetime value, but
Oh yeah.
now like
Yes,
I
we
want
did.
to just talk about the supplier relationship part because literally like I had a brand or not had, we're still working together, but I was seeing 15% profit margin with them, and that's after everything, after cost of goods sold, shipping, marketing, like the whole shebang, right? 15% margin. And I just came back with another conversation with my account manager. And personally, I think she didn't say this, and I don't think she really wanted to let me know all her business. But it's mighty funny how once she got my account and we made like on our account, we made an extra $100,000 in like 6 months. She got a promotion. Like again, if you guys don't know, in the supplier realm with account managers, that's how they get tracked. It's like, how are the accounts performing that you're managing? Right. So I think because of my account, she got a promotion. I don't know. I can't, there's no fact, but it's a direct correlation. She got that promotion
She's
really
gonna
quickly.
buy you dinner, right? When she meets you,
Possibly,
or if she
but
hasn't
even
already.
better, even better, she gave me better margins, right? So I went from
Ooh,
15%, now
nice.
I'm
There
making
you go.
25%, right? My
Ooh.
average order value for this brand was like $700, right? And so I can't remember the math off the top of my head, but we went from making like, now I want to say roughly like 120, 150 profit per transaction. So now we're seeing like 220, 230, profit per transaction for the same exact sales. Like I ain't even got to do no work. I'm making more money doing the same exact thing. I don't have to change nothing, right? So it's strategic things that I do like that that helps me make more profit versus everybody out here that's chasing the next sale or chasing like spending more money on ads and things of that nature so you can start to scale the business. I'm strategically looking at things that's already in the business, that's already working. I'm already making sales, so why not focus on selling more to the people that already tell me that they want to buy? Like literally, like that's one of the main things. I did two things this year. I focused on two things. Actually, specifically, like last year, those were some of the main things. But specifically this year, there was two things I focused on, which is email marketing. So marketing promotions. We talked about promotions, which essentially, like that's all I did. I just promoted more to my current audience of customer base this year. And within the first like 4 to 5 months of this year, I made more profit this year than I did all of last year. And I did over $1 million last year, right? And
Nice.
I made more
Yep.
profit doing less sales, like doing less volume, and made more profit by doing that one thing. So more promotions and then selling more to my current audience. Those were only two things that I did this year and made way more profit than I did last year.
And what are you gonna do versus last year? What's gonna be your X versus last year?
So really, that's part of like bringing in like the supplier piece. That's one of the main things we're focused on is building those deeper relationships with suppliers. So one of the things I'm personally looking at doing is actually flying around the country and just meeting all my suppliers like face to face. Like I got
Nice.
suppliers we've been working together for 5 years, and like I ain't never seen any of them. So it's like, hey, it's about time we kind of met each other, right? So like having those face to face, meetings because it's just a different vibe, a different environment. And again, I know we're on the internet. You don't necessarily have to, especially when you're doing drop shipping, meet your suppliers. But I'm telling you, like there's magic that happens in that conversation when you can meet someone face to face, shake their hand, let them take you to their warehouse. And then also this allows you to get exclusive content for yourself personally, where you have these photos and things that you can actually put on your site. You can put in your email campaigns, and you can
Yep.
drip this out even over months, right? These could be your newsletters. You go and take 30, 40, 50 shots in their warehouse of the different types of products that's there, right? And or with their team. And you can now have that content and it's exclusive to you that none of your competitors have access to, right? Because
Yep.
again, most of everyone else is just like, hey, how can I sit in my pajamas at home and not have to, go anywhere, do any type of work, right? But again, we're looking to scale to the next level. So somebody probably needs to pick up the phone, talk to your suppliers, book, in-person meetings, do some of those different things. So that's one of the primary things that we're looking at doing. And then just going deeper with the amount of products and offers that we have on our different sites that we're running is two of the primary things that we're focusing on right now. It's like, how can we have a better relationship with our suppliers to improve our margins and our bottom line? And then also, how can we offer more products to this market that's already here, that's looking for other variations of what we already sell? The only reason that we're not selling the other variations is because we ain't got them yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Nice, man. Nice. Well, man, we're getting kind of towards the end of our interview here, and I just want to be very respectful of your time. But what we're talking about is so critical to the watchers and the listeners that are running e-commerce businesses that haven't quite had that. that fuel to scale further to that 7+ figure mark, I mean, you really do have to focus much more so on your customers. You really have to leverage and maximize your customer lifetime value. I mean, it makes business so much easier when you do that and you follow through. And one easy tactic you can do to follow through with that, as you mentioned, is promotions. Lay out promotions for the next 12 months. Plan ahead, get some help, get a team to help you so it's not all on you, and execute, make it happen, make more offers in your e-commerce business. Because if you do that, you're going to create more opportunities to sell. You're going to create more money, more revenue in your business. You're going to really leverage the customers that you've received up to this point. And you're also going to get people that were on the fence, were leads that hadn't become customers. You're going to get them to become customers, or you're going to know where they stand. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. This way you can really focus on your customers. So that's awesome, Ernest. I think that, and then Amazon, I just want to summarize everything we talked about. So we talked about going to Amazon, doing research on your competitors, or you can even go to like a Walmart. You can go to a niche specific, big brand in your space and really identify what are some offers that they're making. They're complementary or supplementary to the offers that you already make in your e-commerce business. This way you can add those as additional offers in your upsell process or in your promotions, as you're, leveraging customers coming into your business and leveraging the life cycle through promotions. So we talked about that. And we also talked about just, getting yourself out of the business more, the value of that and why there's so much value in that, getting a team. So this way you can create the bigger deals, you can create better relationships with your suppliers, you can get better profit margins possibly. There's just
actually,
a lot.
Josh, I'll just add this little side note too, since you talked about the team, is the fact that like this was I want to say July. It was either like I think it was either June or July, where I hired like my first customer service VA. Which again, for me personally, I was always like looking at things from a cheap perspective. Like, man, why would I hire somebody to like process these orders when it only takes a couple seconds? Like that makes no sense. Like it's so easy to respond to a customer inquiry. But I didn't realize, to the point that you just made, how much extra like free time that gave me to do other things that made a bigger impact in the business. And just by doing that one thing, hiring somebody where that's the only thing they did, the only thing you got to do is customer service. We literally made an extra $60,000 when we had someone full time, and that was all they did. Like I didn't pay no new money for ads. We weren't doing any extra promotions or campaigns. Literally, that was the only thing I hired this lady to do, was customer service. And it was extra $60,000 over a 90-day period that we made just by doing that one thing, right?
Well,
so
close
the gaps on some of this stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, it frees up your time as a business owner, or frees up other people's times that have a lot of value to the business, as well. I mean, that's why hiring and creating a team is so valuable and so critical. And you're right. I thought the same way. You want to be frugal with your money, oh, that's something easy. I can do it. I can keep doing it. But the thing is, it still takes up your time, and your time as a CEO is super valuable time that's worth, let's just say generously $10,000 per hour. And also on top of that, it takes up decision bandwidth. If it's in your brain, if it's in your mind, it's clogging up your brain, your mind, and it's preventing you from focusing your brain energy on, decisions that are bigger decisions that are going to really move the needle in your company.
Absolutely. Yes, indeed, man. So yeah, we got a lot of things. And the thing is, like, don't try to do everything all at once. Like, pick the thing that you see intuitively about your business, and everybody's business is always in a different place. So you got to sit back, take some time for yourself, look at everything that's kind of going on, and just intuitively ask yourself, based on the nature of how things are running and how things are going, what's going to be the best use of my time to focus on right now? So if you're someone where you're still doing a lot of the day-to-day activities, like, you should be looking at, like, how can I build a team of people to help relieve me of some of these different things that's like sucking my time. Like, if you're the person that has a team already, but your repeat customer rate is like 1%, right? Clearly you're the person that, needs to focus on, like, how can you improve like your repeat customer rate to improve like your customer lifetime value. Right.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
if you're someone that's like bounced around doing multiple different, things from a marketing and advertising perspective, it's like, all right, like, how can I focus on the thing that's creating the greatest amount of return right now and go more into that? and scaling that one thing, right? So just out of all the stuff that we talked about, out of all the guests and stuff that Josh is going to have, because he's going to have some rock stars come on here that's going to talk about some phenomenal strategies that you guys can implement outside of what we discussed. And so as you start to hear them too as well, like you have to, listen to obviously gain more knowledge and more wisdom. But again, to the wisdom piece, you have to be wise in the decisions of what it is that you're going to focus on in that particular season of your business. Like I told you guys, I chose 2 things to focus on this year. One was the email marketing piece. 2 was the repeat customer rate and getting people to buy on a more regular basis. And again, just by those 2 things, out of all the stuff I could have done, that's what's provided the greatest return. And actually, I'm circling back to like the team building stuff. That's probably why I was so passionate about it, because I'm in the process of restructuring my team and bringing on new talent to do more specific roles that I don't have to be involved in, that I know we can get some big gains with. So
yeah, nice, man, nice. Well, dude, it's been my honor to have you on here. And I know that people have seen tons of value from listening to us today, watching us today. How can someone follow you further, learn from you further, and learn more from you moving forward?
Yeah, really. I think we talked about it a little bit earlier, but if you missed it, it's just checking out my personal site, which is earnestepps.com, EARNESTEPPS.com. And then also, if you want to follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, all those cool things that are out there. It's just my first and last name across, all the social media world. So, and I have a free Facebook group too. It's called Ecom Dropshipping for Entrepreneurs. So if you want to know where I hang out on a daily basis, it's mainly in the Facebook group, answering people's questions, providing them insight and direction on some of the things that they're dealing with. But yeah, you can check out any of those resources and you'll get tons of free content from that.
Yeah, all those links, guys, are going to be right below in the show notes. Earnest, again, thank you so much for being on the e-commerce performance marketing show. I appreciate it. And guys, definitely follow Earnest Epps. Go to earnestepps.com or check him out on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and he even has a free resource for you on Facebook, a free Facebook group. What was the name of that group one more time?
Ecom Dropshipping for Entrepreneurs.
Perfect. Okay, guys. Okay, Ernest. Hey, thanks so much, man, for being on here. I truly appreciate it.
All right, guys. Later.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Josh Marsden here, host of the e-commerce performance marketing show. So on February 18th and the 19th, I'm going to be showing 30 business owners how they can scale their ad performance by using our ARM5 formula. Now, this formula has yielded successes such as a 1,524% ROI using Facebook ads over 6 months. It's done a $330,000 sales period for Black Friday 2019. It's even seen a $93,000 sales day for one of our clients. It's an awesome strategy and process that I'm going to be revealing exclusively to 30 business owners here in sunny Scottsdale, Arizona, where I'm located. So if you'd like to be a part of this event, then go ahead and click on the link below or swipe up, find out more before it's too late, because again, this is limited to 30 business owners. And I'm looking for action takers that are hungry for success. They're willing to put the work in and want to learn our ARM5 formula, so this way they can use online advertising effectively, successfully, and also at scale. So click below or swipe up, find out more about the ARM5 formula intensive happening February 18th and the 19th here in sunny Scottsdale, Arizona.
Thank you for tuning into the e-commerce performance marketing show. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment with a timestamp of your favorite part and share it with a friend. Until our next episode, here's to you and the success of your e-commerce business.